Good evening. It's kind of late and I didn't really want to make a video, but uh, I figured that this was necessary just so that you have this information. So, I have the video about October 26th, and then God showing me more to that message and pointing at tonight, October 31st. And I wanted to give you these dates. So I had told you that October 26th was the day that God closed the ark door. And I did not know this at the time. When I made that video, I only found this later. But from the date of the August 21st, 2017 solar eclipse that went across America, the one that went over all the Salems, 2,623 days from that date is October 26th. And Strong's 2,623 is to shut up. I shut up, confine. Now, that seems to lock in, but when you look and this says to shut down in a dungeon, i.e., incarcerate, shut up. There is another Strong's number that more references like getting closed in, like shutting the door on Noah's Ark. But this is to shut up, to close in, to confine. And in the Hebrew, it's kind, pious, godly man, godly ones, godly person, gracious, holy one, kind, love. And then only one single reference of this kind, pious, to be ungodly. And like here, see of God. So the reason I left this alone is because when I first looked at those solar flare crossings, I swear that the image, like the map of the country that I was looking at that had the two solar flare paths going across it, I swore it said August 17th, 2017, not August 21st. And when I looked that up, that took me to 2627, right? And I looked at it and I actually made some posts on X using that date and then realized a couple hours later that I'd made a mistake. And I'm like, what the heck? And I erased them. And I was just really confused because I was absolutely sure that that was the date I was looking at, that I was seeing. But when I looked back at, it's August 21st. Anyway, so when we actually add 26, 20, 26, 27, that takes us, let's see, did I do that right? Yeah, 26, 27 takes us to October 30th. So it must have been, it's 5 days, so it must have been 26, 28. So 26, 28 takes us to October 31st, right? So that's 5 days difference between October 26th and October 31st, and 26, 23, 26, 28. But I want to show you what these days look like going from that solar eclipse, August 21st, 2017. So October 30th would be 2017 627 days. And in Strong's, that's lacking, wanting, deficient. Cashier, lacking, wanting, deficient. And it specifically references Daniel 5:27 on the scales and found deficient, right? You have been weighed in the balance and found deficient. That Daniel 5:27 is specifically referencing the destruction of Babylon, the writing on the wall. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances, and found wanting. So how they ordered the words in the original Hebrew was different. But anyway, so what's going on right now is the sun is in Libra, in the balances, in the scale, right? So in the signs in the heavens, you actually have that sign in the heavens right now. And I only learned that earlier watching some guy's video. Anyways, so then the other 26, 27 is, in the Greek, is katak losmos, a flood, a deluge, a flood, and it's specifically referencing the flood. Before the flood, they were eating and drinking until the flood came and carried them all away. The ark and the flood came, and when he brought up a flood upon the world. So it's specifically referencing the flood, and that would be yesterday, October 30th, right? And if anyone's paying attention, someplace got flooded really bad yesterday. It's still getting flooded today. I would have expected that flooding to be happening in Tacoma based on what God showed me, but, you know, I'm sure it's part of the judgment that's coming on the world. But what's really crazy is 2628, which takes us to October 31st, today, Halloween. And I showed you in those videos how God gave me more of that message and seemed to be pointing at October 31st, at Halloween, because it's like the day of wickedness. And so that is to follow after I follow after. And this is about the people following after Christ. But in the Hebrew, it's to finish off, consume. For the locust will consume it. Deuteronomy 28:38. And you know, locusts are mentioned in the book of Revelation too. But to finish off and to consume. And it gets a little bit crazier too, because tomorrow will be November 1st, which would be 2,629 days from that October 17th or August 21st, 2017 solar eclipse. And it's to stop up, muzzle. And what it talks about is not muzzling the ox while it treads out the grain. Shall not muzzle the ox as threshing. And to cut up, I cut in the Greek, it's I cut, to cut up. I cut up, cut in pieces, mangle, wound. And in the mountains, and gnashing himself and cutting himself, crying and cutting himself with stones. So that's the guy possessed by demons. And then if we look at Strong's 111, right? Because tomorrow will be November 1st, which is 11-1. 11-1. So 111. It's lawless, illegal, unlawful, criminal, lawless. So what time would we be going into right now? God has shut the door of the ark on the 26th. He shut up his holy ones. We would be going into the reign of the Antichrist right now. Lawlessness. So, anyways, I just wanted to show you that, and I don't know, make of it what you will. I don't think there's any coincidences with God. I think he's saying that we've been weighed, we've been judged, we've been found wanting, and punishment is coming. And part of that punishment is delivered through God allowing the lawless one to have his reign for a period of time.